Welcome to the Defiant Podcast. This is the on-chain briefing from Defiant, your lifestyle sports brand.
That's right. We cut through the noise for you in DeFi, entertainment, and sports.
Yeah, forget scrolling. We do the deep dive, pull out the signals. Think of it like your shortcut to what really matters right now.
And today, we've got quite a mix. We're seeing some fascinating threads converging, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It all seems to point towards digital assets becoming more mainstream, from state governments getting involved to big finance players, new tech integrations.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to unpack. So where should we start? How about Texas?
Good place. Texas and its Bitcoin ambitions. The Texas House passed Senate Bill 21 on its second reading. Big vote 105 to 23.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty decisive. They're aiming to set up a state-managed Bitcoin reserve.
Right, which puts them alongside states like, New Hampshire, Arizona, who've been looking at crypto.
Exactly. And they're even thinking longer term, maybe including some altcoins, the big ones, if they meet certain criteria down the line.
So why does this matter? I mean, beyond just Texas holding some Bitcoin.
Well, look, it's a signal, right? State-level acceptance. It could really influence other states, maybe even nudge things at the national level.
And it positions Texas as maybe a crypto hub, attracting talent, businesses.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It signals they're serious about digital assets. But, it also raises big questions. How do you actually manage a Bitcoin reserve at the state level? Security audits.
Yeah, that sounds complicated. Like really new territory for a state government.
It is. Volatility custody. It's uncharted. This will likely be a test case. People will be watching closely. But with bipartisan support and the governor apparently backing it, seems like they're ready to figure it out.
Okay, so Texas is one piece of this puzzle. What about Robinhood? They're usually associated more with stocks, but they're making crypto moves too.
Big moves, yeah. They've sent this detailed, 42-page proposal to the SEC.
42 pages? What are they proposing?
They're pushing for a unified regulatory framework for tokenized real-world assets, RWAs.
Okay, RWAs. Break that down a bit. Tokenized real-world assets. So, like putting real estate on the blockchain.
Exactly. Or commodities, art, you name it. Taking a traditional asset, representing ownership digitally as a token on a blockchain.
And Robinhood wants clear rules for this.
Yeah. They're proposing standards for these tokenized securities, including things like built-in KYC and AML checks. They even suggest a whole new trading platform just for these assets.
Why does this matter? What's the big deal about tokenizing, say, a building?
Well, think about the potential market size. Robinhood's throwing around a number like $30 trillion.
30 trillion. Wow.
Yeah, massive. The idea is bridging traditional finance with blockchain tech. It could make investing in these kinds of assets way more accessible, more efficient. Imagine buying a tiny fraction of an office building easily.
Okay, I see the potential. Easier access, maybe more liquidity for traditionally illiquid assets. But the SEC, that's got to be a tough sell, right? Given how cautious they've been.
Oh, absolutely. That's the major hurdle. Getting regulatory clarity, especially from the SEC, is never simple in crypto. Robinhood's trying to be proactive, suggesting standards up front.
So they're laying out a possible path forward.
Exactly. Trying to provide a blueprint. If they succeed, it could really unlock this huge market and be a catalyst for mainstream RWA adoption. But it's a big if right now.
Definitely one to keep an eye on. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Ronin Network, mostly known for gaming, right? Axie Infinity.
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're expanding, moving more into DeFi. And a key part of that is this new integration with Rocket Pool.
Rocket Pool. That's an Ethereum staking protocol, isn't it? One of the big decentralized ones.
That's the one. The oldest, very trusted, decentralized ETH staking protocol. They've integrated with Ronin now.
So what does that mean practically for someone using Ronin?
It means more ways to earn yield on your ETH, but within the Ronin ecosystem. There's a new liquidity pool on Katana v3. That's Ronin's DEX for Orthy and Wrapped ETH. WETHY.
Brief. That's Rocket Pool's liquid staking token.
Correct. When you stake ETH with Rocket Pool, you get rolls back. It represents your staked ETH plus the rewards it's earning. And the key thing is, it's liquid.
Liquid, meaning you can use it, trade it, unlike staked ETH, which is often locked up.
Exactly. You're not locked in. You can swap ROLF back to ETH, or more importantly here, use it in DeFi. And now You can use it on Ronin, put in that Katana pool, earn fees, maybe even extra rewards from Ronin's own programs like Ronin Blitz.
And Rocket Pool itself, you said it's decentralized. How does that compare?
Yeah, that's a big differentiator. They have over like 3,900 independent node operators running the infrastructure. It's not controlled by a single entity. You stake, you get Ruth, you stay in control, no KYC usually needed. Plus, you can start with a really small amount, like 0.001 ETH.
Okay, so this integration brings a trusted, decentralized ETH staking option right into Ronin. Seems like a smart move for Ronin, moving beyond just gaming.
Totally. It adds another layer of financial utility to their network.
Yeah.
Makes it more attractive for people holding ETH who want yield, but maybe want to stay within that Ronin ecosystem. It signals they're serious about building out their DeFi capabilities.
And speaking of building out Ronin, there was that Messari report mentioning Open Ronin. What's that about?
Yeah, that's a significant shift they made. They transitioned to an open, permissionless blockchain. Meaning anyone can deploy smart contracts now. They don't need permission from the core team. Before, it was more curated, focused mainly on gaming partners.
So opening the floodgates, essentially.
Kinda, yeah. It's designed to attract a much wider range of developers and applications. We've already seen OpenSea integrate. There's a meme and token launchpad called Tama, Compound Protocol, deployed.
So more DeFi, more NFTs, potentially other stuff too.
Exactly. Social apps, new marketplaces, tools.
Yeah.
Who knows what developers will come up with now that the doors are open. It's about fostering innovation beyond just gaming.
But the report also mentioned their market cap took a hit. Down quite a bit, like 40%.
It did, yeah. Market cap went from around $725 million down to about $430 million in Q1. So that's a point of concern, obviously.
So how do you square that? They're opening up, building cool stuff, integrating Rocket Pool, but the market cap is down.
Well, markets are complex, right? Could be broader crypto market trends. Could be that the market still sees Ronin primarily through the lens of Axie and gaming, and maybe hasn't fully priced in this shift to a broader platform yet.
So the development activity suggests a focus on long-term growth, even if the short-term market price isn't reflecting it yet.
That's how I read it, yeah. They're clearly investing in the infrastructure and ecosystem for the future. The move to open Ronin is a long-term play.
Okay, makes sense. One last piece for today, a quote from CZ, Binance founder. Investing in crypto is risky. Not investing in crypto is also risky. Short, but no. Packs a punch.
It really does.
Yeah.
Very CZ. It highlights the core dilemma, doesn't it?
Yeah, the first part is obvious. Crypto is volatile. You can lose money. We all know that.
Right. High risk, high reward potential. He's acknowledging that up front.
But the second part, not investing is also risky. What's the risk there?
Opportunity cost. That's the risk. In a world where this technology and these assets might become fundamentally important, staying completely out means you risk missing out on potentially significant growth or shifts in finance.
So the risk of being left behind, essentially.
Exactly. It's not saying everyone must invest. It's saying you need to weigh both risks, the risk of participation and the risk of non-participation. Make an informed choice based on your own situation and risk tolerance.
It's a reminder to think critically, not just about the potential losses, but also the potential gains you might forego. A balanced perspective.
Precisely. Understand the landscape, understand yourself, and then decide. It's crucial advice in such a fast-moving space.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What's the big picture for you listening to this?
Well, we've seen Texas potentially legitimizing Bitcoin at a state level. We've seen Robinhood trying to build regulated bridges for traditional assets onto the blockchain.
We saw Ronin expanding from gaming into broader DeFi, with help from a major player like Rocket Pool, and opening up its platform for more innovation.
And we got that stark reminder from CZ about weighing the risks on both sides of the crypto investment coin.
Right, and what's really interesting, like you said at the start, is how these threads connect. They aren't just random news items.
No, they really point to this broader trend, increasing institutional interest, whether it's states or major brokers. The convergence of TradFi and DeFi, and blockchain ecosystems evolving, becoming more versatile.
So as you're navigating all this, maybe think about, what does state-level adoption really mean for crypto's future? Could it accelerate things?
And how might these tokenized real-world assets actually change how you invest or interact with things like property or commodities someday? Could it really unlock that $30 trillion market?
And finally, revisiting that CZ quote, what is your personal risk-reward calculation here? How do you balance the risks of getting in versus staying out?
Lots to think about. This has been your deep dive from the Defiant Podcast.
For more insights, analysis, everything at the intersection of DeFi, entertainment, and sports, keep it locked here. We're powered by Defiant, your lifestyle sports brand on-chain.
Go out there and think differently.